Oh, yay. Here we are again together. And this time we get to be with Louise Edington, who was part of our summit back in January
Hmm.
of 2025 when we were looking at 2025 and beyond. And oh my gosh, there's so many things happening.
Oh.
Oh, every month we've been saying, whoa, it's another
I know.
wild and crazy month. And this month is no exception to that rule. And in fact, it might
Mhm.
even be crazier than some of the others because there's some unexpected events that are also part of this. So
Mm.
I am finding myself with I have an elder woman in my life who's like a second mom who's in her passing right now. And so I was with her last night and it's like I feel very raw emotionally. So just so you know, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. And
Mm.
looking at as we come into the Sagittarius season, I we talked about this the last time. There's a new moon happening right before that that has a grand water trine, but not only a grand water trine, it's a kite formation.
Mm.
And so and this grand water trine is happening for, many days leading up to this. So I'm
Mhm.
like, man, I'm in the watery realms of all these emotions and things that are going on. And then what I thought I would do, because there's so many things happening, I want to just jump to the new moon happening right before we go into the December solstice, Capricorn
Mm.
season, because it feels like these two new moons are bookending each other. We've got this grand water trine kite thing happening, then the sun will go into Sagittarius, and then a whole lot of things are going to happen. And then we have a Sagittarius new moon at 28 degrees Sagittarius at Galactic Center. The moon is extremely out of bounds, and that means it's a wild card.
Mhm.
So more wild energies happening. It's happening on December 19th, and that's the time that they're saying Three-Eye Atlas, this interstellar object that they don't really know exactly what it is, but they know it's not probably a comet because it doesn't behave like one, it doesn't look like one,
Mm.
all these things that are happening with that. And so that's when it's making its closest approach to the Earth. So we have this massive new moon energy, and then we have Three-Eye Atlas. And the day before that, and this is something I know that Louise is going to speak into, there's a conjunction between Pallas, Athena, and Chariklo, the third one this year. And
Mm.
it's not all that often that they will conjunct three times. Uh, but it's happening because Pallas Athena is retrograde in the same sign as Chariklo happens to be. So
Mhm.
so it's not something that's happened often before. Anyway, so I feel like this is just something for us to be aware of. Like, how are we tuning into? And these new moon energies, of course, are times when we are seeding intentions, and the new moon in Sagittarius is just right before the solstice. So it's like part of that whole new solar year coming up. So I just also wanted to speak into the fact that that new moon is not completely aligned with the star Rasselhag in the constellation of Ophiuchus. But there are many, many passages of the planets over that star at that time. And because in November, the end of November, the sun is considered to enter Ophiuchus. Now, the reason that is because, let me just say, Ophiuchus is the serpent bearer and is connected to Asclepius and the healer energy. And in my sense of it, was originally a woman, the feminine serpent, the snake goddesses, um,
Mm.
and the healers and so on. And then it got co-opted by the patriarchy. So there's that. But the sun enters that part of the sky November 30th, and then is
Mm.
there until like December 18th, passing through the feet of Ophiuchus because they redrew the constellations and they put the feet on the ecliptic. And so that's why sometimes they'll say the 13th sign, but it's really the 13th constellation, and and you can draw the constellations any way you want, and you can make as many as you want. some, like if you look at nakshatras, there's 27 of them, and there's different ways that you can look at the starry backdrop of the sky. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, but this is a truly remarkable time leading up to, because most of Ophiuchus is in the seasonal sign of Sagittarius above the scorpion being mostly in the sign of Sagittarius. I think it's all in the sign of Sagittarius, actually. I think
Mm,
the head to the tail is in Sagittarius. So, and then Ophiuchus is above that. So this is just a remarkable time of the year, and just how the sun is passing through, and all this energy is there's activating the star Antares, the heart of the Scorpion. So I wrote down, see if I can get these when it's going by. This Mars is with Antares at the new moon on November 21st. And then the Sun is with Antares on December 1st. Mercury is with Antares on December 19th, and that's the new moon that we've been talking about. And Mars actually is with Antares exact on December 8th. And then, so this is like the considered to be the key to the Golden Gate. And the Golden Gate being the place that we pass to into, another realm, another dimension, another possibility. It's like rebirthing ourselves into something new and amazing. And many ancient cultures saw this as very significant. So all this activation around Antares is activating that gateway. And then with the moon, so when the new moon is out of bounds on December 19th, it is so far below the ecliptic, it is passing directly over Galactic Center and making a direct transmission to the Earth from the center of the galaxy at the new moon. So what is it telling us? What's the information? What's the insight? So we inform the mysteries as much as they inform us. So how do we want to help inform this time? This coming solar month is a time for us to be very clear about, we don't have to
mm,
necessarily know how it's going to manifest, but ideally for me, I think it's from the heart of the galaxy, the heart of the scorpion, the heart star energy, from the place of love. How are
mm,
we showing up to be more loving, kind, caring, generous, supportive, cooperative,
mm.
co-creative, all those things. So with that, I think I've said more than
Oof.
enough to
Oh,
get it started, and I'm going to pass this off to Louise. It's
mm.
good to have you here, Louise. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, it's awesome to be here. Thank you. And, holding space for you with your friend. But where to start? Oh my goodness. Now, for a start, the new moon is right on my ascendant. So I have this big connection with the Galactic Center anyway. So I feel very tuned into what's kind of coming. I've also got several other aspects, but with it combined with Comet Atlas also kind of being closest to Earth at the same time. And they are suggesting that, well, it's not a comet, but interstellar object Atlas could have come from right by the galactic center. And I think, why not even from it? There's something really, really huge coming in with all of this. And for those of you that haven't worked with the galactic center, it really is almost, I like how Philip Sedgwick describes it as a cosmic defragger. So it defrags everything, and empties out kind of the hard drive and leaves space for the new coming in. And so new information is really going to come in, new truths, all kinds of things on this Sagittarius new moon. And then we have Pallas Athena and Chariklo, who I've worked with a lot. In fact, my whole business is named after Pallas Athena because the owl is her one of her symbols. In Aquarius, to my mind, also has a very strong similarity to the sign of Sagittarius. I always feel we are very similar. I'm a Sagittarius sun too, in that we're both very future oriented, both very vision oriented. And so this really is about what vision are you creating? I see Pallas Athena as the pattern maker. She's strategic, but she pulls in all the pieces to create a very clear vision, particularly in Aquarius. And she is very associated with Aquarius as well. And then Chariklo, Chiron's wife, I see her as helping us to weave a new story. Kind of, she spins the threads. Her name literally means grace spinner. She's been holding space for healing since she was discovered in 1997. And it feels like these two have come together to help us to weave a new story for ourselves individually and for the world collective, literally. I could go on, but I'm sure I'll bounce ideas off other people. But to hearken back to what you said, Kaylin, be really intentional with this new moon about what vision you have for the new Earth or new paradigm, whatever you want to call it, because how we co-create this together will really matter. So,
I just want to add
mm,
before you jump in, Jamie, I just
mm,
want to add that Louise was part of, I said this earlier, she was part of our summit. The video that she did with us um,
mm,
will be in the show notes. So if you want, and she talked about Chariklo.
mm, mm.
So if
Yes,
you want
there
to
you
get more information, more
go.
insight about Chariklo, then check out the show notes and check out that video. It was really good.
And do, because her discovery chart is just amazing. So I don't want to go into all that now.
Oh, I love this. I really love, Louise, what you were sharing
Mm,
about this
mm,
story emerging with Chariklo and Pallas Athena. That feels really, really powerful. And just when I feel into the energy of Sagittarius season, it feels like all of this swirling energy. It feels like a lot of movement. We have a lot of changing directions
mm,
during Sagittarius season. Of course, Mercury, who starts
mm,
retrograde during Scorpio season, will turn direct during Sagittarius season. But the big two energies shifting directions during Sagittarius season are Saturn and Neptune changing directions. They've been retrograde. They, of course, throughout 2025, they went into Aries and then they both retrograded out of Aries back into Pisces. So going over that 0 degree, the 29 Pisces, 0 degrees Aries, ending and beginning of the zodiac, they've already gone over it twice. Now they're back in Pisces and they're going to change directions. They're going to station direct over the Sagittarius season. And then in 2026, they'll be going back over that 29 Pisces, 0 degrees Aries point back into Aries. And of course, we have one of the, biggest transits of 2026 is that 0 degrees of Aries, Saturn, Neptune conjunction, really inviting us to ground in a higher vision, a higher dream, a higher inspiration to give it form and structure and a container here on Earth and to really get clear. I love the theme of getting clarity has come up because when Saturn and Neptune go to 0 degrees of Aries, this is something through their retrograde we've been really on maybe a more unconscious or etheric level, maybe conscious too, but we've been really been reevaluating what is it that we're really wanting to commit to, because Saturn is very
mm,
much about commitment and
mhm,
devotion. And as Saturn and Neptune come to 0 degrees of Aries next year, we're really being asked to get pretty clear on which pathway are we going, which direction forward. Aries is a very single pointed, focused energy. So now that we're in Sagittarius season right now, these two energies changing directions, Sagittarius is a mutable sign. Mutable meaning multidimensional. I love that, Louise, your cat jumped in the screen here. What we're being initiated into is really feeling into the multitude of multidimensional possibilities
mhm,
that we can tap into. We can go this direction, that direction. And right now, the invitation is to play with that, to play with all the different directions we can go in, to feel into them. So then we're forming a little bit more clarity, especially as we're going into next year. I really feel in order to get to that space of clarity, there's this really beautiful invitation to move into the not knowing, that is one of the biggest, Sagittarius. On one end of Sagittarius, we can fall into dogma of, I know. And on the other end of Sagittarius, we can actually connect to that higher truth, that higher wisdom through, actually, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm a forever student of life. So, it's in the field, it's everywhere. You can't escape it. There's so much division and fighting and arguing over people who not everyone, but many people feel like I know what's happening in the world. And there's so much like this group versus that group and so much division. The more you can actually maybe choose not to know and come into that space of, I'm going to be a student of life, we can get into, I feel like that's actually going to anchor us to clarity. I mean, it just like where personally I'm at, where there's so much chaos in my like living space. There's like this really loud windstorm outside. There's renovation projects happening next door. Our family's dog is like barking, going crazy. It's like, oh my gosh, so much swirling energy. So how can we ground into our bodies and find that anchor within when there's so much like shifting energy happening? Because I do feel that the kind of the chaotic energy in our world is going to continue. I mean, it's going to continue to be there past Sagittarius season, but right there. And the invitation is, how can we create that? How can we create the heaven on earth within our own lives and our own communities, whether it's in-person communities or virtual communities, and weave through the even, through space and time, through virtual, however we're doing it, how can we create the new earth, the new frequency, the new paradigm within our lives and in our communities, and to be those little anchors of light where we're weaving this new tapestry together despite all the chaotic energy that's going on in the world. I just want to share there's a lot of lunar node activation this Sagittarius season. So the lunar nodes are in mid Virgo Pisces. And as we go through Sagittarius season, because Sagittarius squares Virgo Pisces, right? These are all mutable signs. We have squares to the lunar nodes, particularly that full moon, the Gemini full moon that is it December 4th? If it's another day, someone tell me. But I believe the full moon is at 13 degrees of Sagittarius. I have the chart here. I could just look. Yeah, the full moon is on December 4th. Moon at 13 Gemini, Sun at 13 Sagittarius. The lunar nodes are at 13 degrees Virgo Pisces. So this is, I mean, both the lunations over Sagittarius season are huge. We have, at the end of Sagittarius season, we have that Galactic Center, Sagittarius new moon, but the full moon is pretty huge too, perfectly square the lunar nodes. And when anytime anything squares the lunar nodes, right? The lunar nodes of fate, destiny, we're at an energetic and often very physical, like real tangible choice point between, are we going to kind of default to old patterns and kind of go in old directions, old pathways, or there's these choice points that emerge, like a fork in the road, like timeline splitting, new opportunities emerging to go in a new direction towards our fate, towards our destiny, towards our future. And we don't always see necessarily the tangible manifestation of the new pathway, but it's through really interacting with life in a new way, maybe new behavior patterns, new ways of just playing with reality, right? Sagittarius, Gemini, we're playing with reality. Reality is malleable. It's very playful energy. We can open up new pathways and new timelines. So I think I'll stop there. I just want to also mention, because I want to make sure someone mentions it, and I could share about in the next round. Venus kind of goes into her official underworld descent this Sagittarius season as well. Now it's very malleable. On some level, it's like, when does she drop out of our horizon line where we're living? Some of us, she may have already dropped out of your horizon line. If you have mountains to your east, I have mountains to my east. So for a morning star, she might have already dropped out of your horizon line. Some of us may see her. So it's a very personal, but as far as distance from the sun, she's moving into her underworld phase, that she'll be going this long underworld journey around the opposite side of the sun that I want to honor, make sure I mention, and maybe someone else also wants to speak to it as well.
I just also want to add that it's going to be an out of bounds full moon in
Yeah,
Gemini.
perfectly square the lunar nodes. Like,
Perfectly square the lunar node.
what?
A wild
It's
card, wild energy, and Gemini's a trickster anyway. So, whoa.
Yeah, I love everything that we are sharing. And something that is being very highlighted for me for the whole season, Sagittarius season, is the Jupiter trining Saturn in water signs. Like it's most of the month, really. And Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so it's really emphasized during this season. And also, it's like from the new moon in November, that is very watery and very emotional, to the new moon in Sagittarius, everything is like from water to fire. And this is not about mental construct, it's really about our emotions. Jupiter is in Cancer, so it's like really feeling into it, because wherever we are growing is very connected to our inner landscape. It's not so much a mental idea, is something, even Sagittarius, that is truth, but it's a truth that is coming from instinct, from intuition, from the fires. It's not a mental Gemini kind of truth. It's much more what is alive for each one of us, and sometimes how each truth can be combined, and then one person is seeing a square, another one is seeing circle, but both of them are right. And sometimes we forget that we can be seeing different fractals of the same reality, and then the more that we combine our tapestry of wisdom, the more that we collectively create something. And regarding this Jupiter Saturn trining, I'm always very tuned into the whole Jupiter Saturn cycle that started in December 2020. So wherever we see it there, that it was very seed kind of thing, because it was on 0 degrees Aquarius, and then Pluto was there kind of like doing the transformation. Now we are having this trining, Saturn is retrograde. So it's kind of like we need to dream, we need to feel, and it's not like that reality that we are birthing next year with the Saturn Neptune conjunction is not coming only from our minds, it's coming from a very deep space. And this is why I have an invitation also for everyone. I'm doing a breathwork summit that is called I Am Possible, breathing our impossible dreams into action. So it's like everyone is sharing about breathwork and chakra by chakra. So it's not an astrology summit, but I'm also a breathwork facilitator. And something that I always find with astrology is that sometimes it stays in the mind. And like for instance, with Atlas, there are so many people channeling, so many people saying what is the truth. And I feel this is the time for each one of us to also go deep for what is my truth. And like every single person has is a channel. Every single person can read Akashi records. Of course, we can train, we can learn astrology, we can learn so many things, shamanism, many things. But at the end of the day, each one of us has a mastery, and I feel that is the call for next year with Saturn, Neptune in Aries. It's like what uniquely what gifts are uniquely yours that nobody else can bring into to the table, and it's like listening to others just as a mirror. Like for instance, now we are sharing our truth, but what I will invite everyone is to listen to it in a way. It's like, does it resonate for me? Like when it goes through my body, does it say anything for me? Because the more that we do that, the more that astrology is truly embodied and it's not just a mental construct. And I feel for all of us here is like that. Like it's not something that you predict, it's something that is alive in everything.
Mm.
Like astrology is everything. It's everywhere, and it's like when you fall in love with it, there is no way back. You cannot go back. But at the same time, I feel sometimes it stays very much here, and now is the time to really round and feel astrology. And with Atlas, for instance, I invite that. It's like, what
Mm.
does it mean for you? And listen to others with that open heart, but then also rooted in our inner knowing that everybody has. And that is very activated during the whole time. And I feel this full moon that Jamie was talking about with Gemini, Sagittarius, always there is this theme of what is true. And
Mm.
with AI, we are not going to know many times if something is real or not. So it's like, it's becoming really like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
So we need to develop that inner knowing of like that gut instinct of saying, this just doesn't resonate for me. I don't even know why. I don't have to have a logical reasoning why, but this is not true for me. But it can be for other people, right? And the more that we weave a humanity that each person can represent a different fractal of some a collective something, that the more that we are going to be able to create amazing things.
Mm.
Oh, I love that, Mar, so much. Thank
Mm.
you. And I love this, the truth. So here's something that
Mm.
is it depends on how you're looking at something, what's true or what's not true. So take the number 9 and 6. So if you put the number on, and stand on either side of it, one person will see a 9 and one person will see a 6, and both are true. So truth isn't necessarily what we have thought it to be.
Mm.
And I think Sagittarius is on the quest for truth. And
Yes.
so, what is really true for us? I just love everything you just said about that. So good. And then the not knowing, I think it was Carlos Castaneda in one of his books, The Teachings of Don Juan, says to him that the third roadblock to enlightenment is clarity.
Mm.
When you allow yourself to not know and to be open and questioning, then something new can come in that maybe had never been
Mm.
considered before or thought of before. So
Mm.
Sagittarius is definitely about expanding consciousness, as is Aquarius. I love what you said about that, Louise. And so they're both into that. They maybe do it for a little bit different reasons or
Mm.
different motivations, but they're both about expanding consciousness and perspective and all of that. And then I'm going to wrap up by saying Venus, yes, going into the underworld. Love that you brought that up, Jamie. She drops into the underworld officially 10 degrees from the sun on November 25th. And uh, yeah, as you were mentioning, I have mountains in my east. Also, she's rising lower on the mountain so that, she's still visible here, but
Mm.
probably won't be visible for much longer. So she
Mm.
might disappear from here a lot sooner. But again, the 10 degrees from the sun is what we tend to look at as the official moment of her descent. And what's interesting
Mm.
about that time is that so Venus is trine Jupiter at 25 Cancer. She's at 25 Scorpio. And trine Saturn at 25 Pisces. So that grand water trine still active after the new moon,
Mhm.
the Scorpio new moon. And then a couple days later, Saturn's going to station direct at 25 Pisces. Jupiter is at stationing direct at 20 or retrograde at 25 Cancer, very close trine. And so this is just a powerful
Mhm.
timing. And Venus will be in the underworld until February 17th, I think it is,
Mm. I think it
when she
is.
officially rises in
Mm.
the evening sky at 10 degrees from the sun. Now,
Mm.
some people won't see her then.
Mhm.
But it's like 84 days of being in the underworld, and we say 60 to 90 days. So she's right in that
Mm.
framework. And of course, we'll talk about this on our Capricorn solar month, but Venus and the sun and Mars conjunct in early January So they're kind of dancing very close together. They come within 10 degrees of each other this month,
Mm,
solar month, and they are going to stay close and then make their exact conjunction. And so it's like a sacred union time. And in the
mm,
underworld, because Mars is also in the underworld, in the underworld, or we could say with the sun being the source of life and life for our planet, they can source a new way of doing sacred union.
mm,
And I love when Sun and Venus and Mars are all together because my husband
mm.
and I chose to get married when Sun and Venus and Mars were all together in 2006 and in Libra. And we sourced a new way of doing
Mm.
conscious partnering, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, this underworld time, Venus and Mars are doing this dance that is worth us looking at. How are the sacred
Mm,
feminine and the sacred masculine um, supporting one another, celebrating one another, being with one another in a healthy way that maybe we haven't fully experienced before. So
mm.
that's a possibility for that too. So with that, Louise, what do you got?
Oh gosh. There's just like overall, it just feels to me like there's so many, whatever you want to call them, timelines converging in this huge moment of change. Did you know that Jupiter stations retrograde and Saturn stations direct at the same degree and minute, 25 degrees 09 minutes of each sign? And as well, Ceres, who I've just written a book about, she's a personal planet in my opinion, but she's definitely a planet. She is going to station direct during this season as well at 2 Aries, which is the degree where the Sun and Venus met before Venus became a morning star in this current cycle. And now she's just disappearing. It's like everything's coming together. But also last December 7th, Venus, Pluto, and Ceres met at zero Aquarius, to go back to what Mar was saying about the zero Aquarius. And Mars and Venus met there as well as at one of the start of one of their cycles. I can't remember what. So I just noticed the degrees and numbers. It's just one of my things. And with all of these things converging now, combined with having a new moon literally on the galactic center, and the full moon is not only square the nodes, the sun will be on the great attractor at the same time. So all these kind of extra galactic energies are just diving in, while Venus, who I think is probably the most important planet of all, but is in her underworld. I could go on, but I don't want to baffle everybody with technicalities, which is why I'm trying to kind of sum it up as we're in this time where everything just seems to be converging, speaking to each other, and we've never been here before. All these outer planets, state changing signs at the same time too, let alone that's never happened before, but also we didn't even know they existed until until the late 18th century. And the last time Saturn and Neptune met at zero Aries was 4,300 and something. I can't remember the exact year. So, and that's the world point, the start of something new. So everything that's happening while all these energies are with the sun, I like that expression, I'm going to use that one, are kind of asking us to go within and really heal and birth something new from the inside out, I think. So, instead of letting the world kind of throw you around, yes, it seems awful out there a lot of the time. I loved what you said, Jamie, about, getting rooted. I see it like the balancing your nervous system, really, which is Aquarius is the nervous system. So everything keeps speaking to each other. It's just a wild time. But being a major Sagittarius myself, the full moon, I have Jupiter at 14 degrees and my moon opposing, so that's being hit. I'm just feeling all of these energies coming in. And I'm going, you can co-create something way better. You just have to believe, another good Sagittarius word, that you can.
I love that. And just to kind of go off of that, Louise, I love,
Mm,
Sagittarius. We
mm,
think of the imagery as the archer
mm,
being the symbol, the glyph that we use for Sagittarius, right? It's about looking up at the stars, at the
mhm,
heavens. The sky is the limit. And where are you going to point your arrow to? It's like dream big, vision
mm,
big. This is the energy of Sagittarius. And sometimes
mhm,
it is literally just a matter of putting it out there, what you're passionate about,
mm,
what you're excited about, what speaks to you, that energy of being passionate, excited,
mhm,
enthusiastic. That is the energetic of Sagittarius.
mm,
That energy is magnetic. Like I had this experience the other day, just not really meaning anything from it, just speaking to a group of people in my community about something that I'm really passionate about. And then it's like people start coming in with like opportunities to do that. And I was like, I actually didn't even know that would happen. I was just
mm,
sharing something I'm really, really passionate about, kind of a
mhm,
different kind of endeavor that is really on my heart. And so like there's this invitation. I feel this is also part of the theme of this Venus cycle, which is this
mm.
Venus cycle that started in March of this
Mhm.
2025. I'm like, wow, I don't even know what
Yes,
year we're in, to be honest. It's like so
I
multi,
know.
but Venus met the sun, right, and rose as morning star in March of 2025. There's this very blended, I love, Kaylin, how you talk about this
Mm,
Aries to Pisces energy. Like, which
mm,
sign did she rise in? Like, some people saw Aries, some saw Pisces. It's this very blended
mm,
energy. But and now she's going into her underworld, kind of officially in Scorpio. So, of course, the Pisces energy too. But if we're just for a moment playing with it, working with the Aries, Scorpio, kind of the cycle that is infused with Aries energy, with Pisces too, but going into the underworld and Scorpio, Aries and Scorpio are both very much signs about getting in touch with what we're passionate about, what
mhm,
makes us feel alive, like what gets the blood pumping through our veins. And I
mm,
feel this morning star cycle where there's this very slow descent to Venus going through the mornings, the morning sky, and every month the moon meets her a little lower and lower on this descent, right? I feel like a theme as we've been clearing out blockages
mm,
to that have maybe been getting in the way of us really being in touch with what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that makes me feel alive? And being able to express it, because sometimes it
mm,
can feel very vulnerable to express and share with others what we're passionate about, what makes us feel alive. Like I'm an Aries sun, right? I'm an Aries sun, a Leo rising, Scorpio moon. These are all like three very passionate signs. And I've had lots of experiences where I'm just like, like on cloud nine, excited, passionate, visioning about something. And then like whoever I'm sharing with like cannot meet that energy. They almost want to like squash it. Like I even one time was like writing an email out to my list about like just how vulnerable it is to really be like unabashedly like this is what I'm passionate about and
mm.
excited. I'm just putting it out there. I remember like someone like emailed me back just like really wanting to like put out the flame. I mean, so I feel regardless of how anybody else is responding back to us, I feel like a big theme of this Venus and Aries cycle and Pisces cycle too, but it's like to reclaim that passion of life,
Mm,
to really get in touch with it. Sometimes we even have blocks to even being in touch with what are we passionate about? What are we excited about? What makes us feel alive? And so she's kind of going in through this threshold, this initiation in Scorpio, which is also very much about passionate aliveness. I feel like this underworld journey is going to be about reclaiming some of our spark, some of that
mm,
passion. And so to really let yourself be passionate, to be excited, to vision, to dream, and even putting it out there. Because when you do put it out there, yeah, maybe there's some people that because whatever reason, their inner child can't be in touch with that because of their own wounds. Like we can still be in touch with that. And it's a magnetic
mhm.
energy. And it does open doorways when you're like in that magnetic energy. So I think I'll just leave it there.
Wow, I feel it's fascinating that the Venus cycle started in Aries, then now Ceres is in
Hmm.
Aries in the same degrees, kind of, and
Yeah.
then Saturn and Neptune will meet in zero. So it's like something is going on there. And I will really invite everyone to tune in, like, what is it that you were starting or dreaming into it in March this year, because now it's kind of like we went from the crown to the third eye to the
Hmm.
throat. We were all this journey, and sometimes even when we are not aware of doing a Venus cycle, we are doing it. Like even if we are not ceremonially like being conscious of it, the astrology is working with us all the time, even when we don't notice. So it's like go back into that and see what is it that this year was about. And I love what Jamie you were sharing about like big dreams. It's like it's time to dream huge, like really big. And when we find like the how, that is where we get blocked with like how do I make it happen. And now I don't feel it's the moment to really go into the how. Is much more about
Mm.
what, like what Jamie was saying, like the passion, the excitement, the life force, what is alive for you, and then just going one step at a time, because we're talking here about a psych. Aries doesn't have a clue of what is initiating. It's just an instinct. And I have the same situation that Jamie was sharing. Like I'm in triple Aries, and I'm very encouraging, always like everything is possible. But then we also need encouragement from others, like people who are these fiery people. Is like, please, others also. We need to take turns in believing that
Mm.
something is possible. And within this journey is so interesting that we have at the end of the year these big dreams, and then beginning of 2026 Capricorn, Mars, Sun, and Venus. And then is the time of like now take root and structures. And I feel it's a whole revolution in culture that is
Mm.
necessary with Capricorn, because Capricorn is not just the corporate CEO. Capricorn is the wisdom of the grandmothers and is something that is within us, is in our cellular memory. We remember how to do culture in a different way, and is the time to allow that wisdom from the earth to come up. So we don't channel only from up down, we also channel from the center of the earth up. And especially women, like our wombs are fully connected with the womb of the earth, and it's time for women to remember that and to unlock our voices and to take action for a revolution in culture. And for
Mhm.
each person, maybe that revolution is just being passionate. What Jamie was sharing is like when we are passionate about something, or even when we are angry about something, that is also very Aries, is showing us that we care about that theme. So it's like instead of fighting against what is not working, can we see that that anger is showing us something that we want to fight for, and use that energy with this Venus cycle, and especially in January when we have like the structures and the circle. Like we are not meant to do this alone, and this is like the reason why we meet every month as round tables, and we all get nurtured by each other. Is much more than if one of us is talking. It's like when we all talk, we're all giving and receiving at the same time. And I feel that's the call also for the meeting in January with Mars, Venus, and the Sun, kind of like meet in circles and to remember. Just sometimes is to remember. And the more we remember from our cellular memory, the more that we will be able to make those changes that we really need.
I love this. And also to celebrate each other, meet and circle to celebrate each other and support each
Mm,
other in whatever it is that, and if we don't know, that's okay. Because that will be revealed at the time that it needs to be revealed, and sometimes in
mm,
unexpected ways. Just loving this so much. So I want to
mm,
just remind everybody to check out the show notes. You can see Louise's video on Chariklo. And then maybe we can just and then I'll put some article information if you want to know about more about Antares or Ophiuchus or whatever, because we didn't spend a lot of time on that. So those who want the deeper information can get that from the show notes. And then there might be other things there if people send.
Yeah, and the breathwork
mm,
summit that
Yeah.
is very
mm,
powerful because every speaker is not only talking, it's like 20 minutes talking and then 20
mm.
minutes breathing. So it's
Breath. Oh,
very experiential and it goes chakra by chakra from the crown to the roots.
Oh,
So it's
so
very
perfect.
connected to preparing us for the upcoming conjunction
I
of
love that. Oh, that's so good. So we'll put a link
oh.
to that there also. And so yeah, I just feel like summing this up. So if we can all just,
Could I just add something about Venus before we go?
well, I'm gonna turn it over to
Oh,
him.
sorry. Oh, sorry. I thought you were
No, fine.
summing up before we
No,
left.
just
Yeah.
that that just like if you have
Mm,
a sentence or two to kind of help wrap it up and
mm,
sum it up. And so the thing that's coming to me is we want to be like when we come together, all the of us and you today, Louise, is so great. It's like I feel my vibration and my energy uplift.
mm,
And so when we can find places where we can be in that higher vibrational energy, that's the energy we're putting into the world. And that's what I want to say as a summary.
mm.
Louise, your turn.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was
Okay,
like,
it's
why?
okay.
I've noticed something. We've talked a lot about Venus being in the underworld for this whole period. So I've just looked, and she emerges from back officially her heliacal rise on the Aquarius new moon, which is at 28 Aquarius, which is aspecting this new moon. But not only that, she will emerge conjunct Pallas Athena, conjunct the North Node when Saturn and Neptune are about to meet. It's I told you everything's converging. All the timelines are converging. It's I couldn't believe that when I saw that. I know that's far ahead, but I promise the listeners, this is it's almost like the cosmos, the plan, the cosmic plan, whatever it is, has lined up for this moment to really I like your word, the invitation, Jamie, to invite us to become better stewards of the earth and each other. This home, this is all we have, really. So, mhm,
I love that, Louise, and just kind of
mhm,
going off of what everyone said. If you
mhm,
are feeling stuck and stagnant, or you're in that
mhm,
liminal space of between things in your life, that this is a time that new opportunities are emerging. It's like hidden doorways can just open up where it's like I was looking right there a minute ago and there was no opening, and now it's like opening
mhm,
up. There is that cosmic alignment. So I just give the invitation to as much as you can play with reality and be open to new possibilities, new opportunities, they will emerge. And what's not
mhm,
working in your life, you're being course corrected to what you are in alignment to. And just trusting in that, the Sagittarius, trust and hope and faith and optimism
mhm.
that there is new energy opening up.
Or hang out with people who have that, so they
Yeah.
can lift you up.
Yeah. Find your Sag
Yeah,
crew.
yeah.
So, Mar, do you have any last words?
Yes, yes, for me it's dream big, like allow
Mm,
ourselves to really dream big and not only for ourselves, but for the whole earth and the
mm,
collective. So it's
Hmm.
like I will
mm,
invite everyone to have one personal dream that they will desire to make a reality and one for the collective. And
mhm,
the more tangible, the better in a way. It's like, what is it
mm,
that is not a dream, a fantasy, but to dance the dream, to I don't know, savor the dream. How does it feel that is already a
Mm,
reality? Because a lot of things are coming up next year that we are dreaming now. So this is a
mhm,
powerful time to
mhm.
birth something in spring.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. I love all of this. Thank you
Mm,
everyone so much for your
thank you.
wisdom and insights and high vibrational energy. And be sure to check out the show notes and be sure to join us for the Capricorn Solar Month because, of course, it's going to be amazing also. So, bye, everyone.
Bye.